Good day, everyone. Hopefully y'all can hear me all right. I am trying out a new setup for the time being and just gonna hang out outside and enjoy this lovely day. I didn't want to stream. Let me be honest with y'all. It's been rough and I have been through a whole lot this last week, but it's all good in the grand scheme of things. This is a great transition for me, and despite all the feels and all the things that are difficult, I know that the path that I'm on now is just, it's like, I feel like trailblazing, like this is something unprecedented in my life, and being a part of this community is a huge reason for that. It really has been an amazing journey over this last year, little over a year now, being a part of the Hex community, and the synchronicities and the work. As you know, as interesting as that is, like, I love the work that I'm doing. I love that I came into this community and just started to work and I just like fell right into this amazing, really fulfilling time in my life. And that's opened my eyes to really want to tune in with what it is that is fulfilling in all areas of my life. So I wanted to tune in today, and despite having the feeling of wanting to become a recluse, which is not me. I'm not usually that kind of person, but it would have been easy for me to not stream and to take a break and to, just kind of disappear for a minute. But I think that this is more important. I think it's important that I continue streaming and that I continue doing this work and continue connecting with this community. So speaking of connecting with the community, let's see who's here. Hello, Orion. Hex Mackenzie, good to see you. Hex Mackenzie, I'd love to chat with you sometime, maybe about coming on for a Woman Crush Wednesday, if you're into that. That would be fun. We got Hex Metal Barbie and Hex Heathen. My setup's a little wonky, so I don't think I'm going to be able to highlight comments while I'm going, but I'll read some of them. Heathen Hex says, "Hi SJ, happy to catch a live. Hex and entire community will work out. We will be the prosperous community in crypto." And isn't that the truth? Like, in so many ways too, y'all. Like, this is not just a financial journey for many of us, I believe. I think this is a journey where many of us are starting to step into these roles that were meant for us. And that's exciting. It really is. Hey, D-Raj, good to see you. I think my chat thing is a little behind, but Ryan Conley says, "Thank you for all that info that you do. You're very welcome." I am very, like I said, just in my element and happy to be providing content, narration. It's been a really fun new thing I want to share with you is I've been working with Brandon, Rags to Riches. And if y'all follow him at all, you'll see that he now has a lot of little 1-minute clips that he uses for YouTube shorts or TikTok and things like that. So that's something that I've actually been working with him on. And there's going to be some pretty cool news about that coming up soon here. It's okay. Ryan says, "Sorry, driving typo." It's all good. No worries. What else? Oh, I'm so close. I'm super close to getting Fix the World narrated. For those of you that may not know, Richard has 2 books. There's SciVive, which is a ginormous, epic writing. And then there's Fix the World, which is much smaller. It's about equivalent to one of the longer chapters of SciVive. And that one is, I really love Fix the World because it's a lot of grander, like large picture type things, whereas SciVive is a very personal, like working on yourself type self-help book. Fix the World talks a lot about different things that governments and education systems and other things I can't think of right now, but it's great. It's a really great piece of work, and I'm really excited to get it narrated because so many people don't know about it, firstly, and then the current edition of Fix the World that you can find at t.me/SciVive. If you look in the files section, there's a little magnifying glass, and you can type in Fix the World and you'll be able to find it. He has it listed as the 11th chapter of SciVive, basically. I think it says like chapter 11, book 2, Fix the World. So if you want to look at it in its current state, which is a total mess, pretty big mess. It's hard to go get through, but it's nearly ready for narration and for this new version of it to be uploaded. And I just have a couple other things I'm trying to get Richard's attention and answer on, and that's like I was talking to someone earlier. I was like, it's like pulling teeth slowly. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the fact that I even, can get a reply from him on occasion is phenomenal. But yeah, it is kind of few and far between in like the messages that I send him, like, I did this and I changed this and I did this thing. I mean, he's so busy with everything else that even though this is his work and it's one of his babies, it's still, I think he trusts me. He trusts the previous editor, and he wants, I think, us more to be like, okay, let's take what you've said and we're gonna present it to the world now. Matt says, can't wait to learn how to fix the world. It's going to be really, really nice. So before we get too far into things and before I get too talky about everything, I did really want to bring attention to our breath and to touch. Those are 2 really big themes in my life right now, because I have a tendency to seek comfort and not necessarily acceptance, but my energy flows outward often. And I think a lot of us do that. We have a hard time really just being with self and holding our own attention. So if you want to, if you feel like it's something that's going to jive with you, let's just, unless you're Ryan Conley who's driving, take a moment to focus on your breath. And I have no training in any of this. This is not, I'm not a professional health expert in any way, shape, or form, but I have over the years formed somewhat of a practice. And Wim Hof, if you are not familiar with him, I don't do it as often as I'd like, but Wim Hof Breathing Technique is great. It is phenomenal. It gets you high. Not gonna lie, if you do it correctly, you do feel this actual physical high. It's really neat. So if you're in a place where you can, I want you all to put whatever feels comfortable. Put both your hands like this over your heart. Put one hand over the other and put them both over your chest, like the middle of your chest. And kind of go ahead and squeeze a little bit, like press into your chest. And then I'm just going to take 3 deep breaths here. So if you want to just follow along with me at your own pace, we're just going to do 3 deep breaths. And when you inhale, and if this is something new to you and you want to learn about deeper breathing, you can also take your hand that's on top and put it on your belly. And when you breathe in, you want to feel your belly expand and get large, because that means that you're filling your entire diaphragm. See, not a professional. So let's do that. So I'm going to go ahead and keep one hand on my belly and one hand on my chest here. All right. And then deep breath in. And out. And when you're breathing out, you want to contract your muscles in your tummy. And if you're still exhaling, just try and get all that breath out. Like breathe out as hard as you can, kind of like get it all out. Because that also gets a lot of the stale, stagnant energy out of your body. Oh, that felt good. I hope you all also felt that. I noticed that, when we tune into our bodies, we notice little things, right? Like between the second and third breath, I felt myself sit up a little taller. You feel your crown adjusting a little bit. Oh, that was lovely. So let's check in with chat again. Hex Toshi says, "What's up, SJ and Hexacan? Smash the likes." I don't know if I said this already, but I'm going to say it again. Matt said, "Can't wait to learn how to fix the world." Thothschild, good to see you. Finbear, hello. Heathen Hex says, "My narration of Richard's work is bomb AF. Can't wait to listen to Fix the World. It's going to be great. I'm really excited." Hexbala says, "This is great. I have to run, so we'll watch later." Thanks, SJ. Thank you, Hexbala. Thanks for all your support, Hexbala. I see you liking and commenting on my stuff, and that is much appreciated. If y'all didn't know, if you want to help out the influencers and the content creators, especially on Twitter, like if we're trying to say, "Hey, check out our stream," or "Hey, I'm going live," things like that, retweeting is great. Another great thing to do is to comment. And I learned this through doing some social media work. If you comment on that post with 3 or more words, like "you're doing great," or cannot wait to watch," just something little like that, that really boosts the algorithm. Because if then I reply and then someone else says something, that's going to keep that conversation. It'll keep that tweet coming up in people's feeds. So just a little tidbit for you if y'all are content creators yourself. Another good thing to do if you are the content creators, to reply. And it's especially for people who are building their audience, right? Like people like Richard and some other influencers, they're not going to reply to everything. But if you want to get a little more traction on your views, replying and commenting is really great stuff. Thothschild says, "I remember my ma and pa doing breathing cycles in the 70s. The virality of Wim Hof has been nuts." Yeah, which is great. I think that kind of goes to show how disconnected so many people are. And I didn't necessarily think about this when I was coming up with the topic for this stream, but as I was looking at articles to bring up, it really just struck me how, and this is, it's going to be different for everyone, especially I know a lot of Hexicans kind of don't prescribe to the mass media information. But regardless, the last 2 and 3 years have been very devoid of touch and very, just hopefully people had a chance, because many of us were alone, had more of a chance to go internally and, take care of yourself and touch yourself. And that's kind of a little bit of what I want to talk about right now, because touch is such a powerful thing. And if it's something that you feel like you don't get enough of, or in an extreme sense, maybe it's something that you seek out, but in a base way, right? And by that, I mean, like, it's devoid of healing, and it's devoid of comfort, right? It's just primal sexual, right? If you're seeking that kind of stuff out, what can you do to love yourself and to hold yourself. I had a friend that I lived with for a little while in Puerto Rico, and he talked about this. He mentioned um, he was single at the time, and he was just like, yeah, he's like, I started this practice of every morning when I wake up, I hold myself, and that's such powerful energy to hold and to love yourself. And I'll probably do a lot of this during this stream today, just to show you guys like how wonderful it can be. I mean, I feel like I'm being hugged right now, and touch is just it's vital. It really is vital to our existence. Part of me wonders, I can't really go back in time and watch these things, but in just to give you all kind of a little personal backstory, I was adopted at birth, and there has been a lot of wondering, especially in recent years for me, about the lack of touch from my birth mother, right? So I was born, I think I was with her for maybe 4 or 5 days, and then my parents adopted me. And my parent, don't get me wrong, I wanted for naught. My parents that adopted me did great. They done good, and I love them for it. But they weren't the touchiest people. Not a lot, especially my dad. He was a cop. Um, he's a Pisces, very internal. Not a lot of. There were not a lot of daddy daughter heart to heart conversations. That was not a thing that we did. We'd sit together and watch wrestling. Watched a lot of WWF, now WWE, wrestling and stuff, and same thing with my mom. I don't know, like I, and maybe part of it was I was very independent as a child, and I didn't seek that touch too much, but either way, I'm going to check in with chat again real quick. Bob Wells says, good morning. Hello, Bob. Thank you for your support. Red Squirrel, oi, 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 Red Squirrel. Good to see you. So with that said, and with, a little bit of my backstory, let's get into a couple of these articles. The first one that I want to go over, and I'm not going to read everything. I just wanted to kind of find a couple examples and a couple of, smart people out there talking about this. And this is an article, and all of these articles are linked below in the description. You can find them there. This is an article from Tony Robbins, who, if you've read SciVive, Richard speaks often, or not often, but Richard does bring Tony Robbins up. I think also in streams I've heard him mention how he has taken several of Tony's courses and subscribes to a lot of his information and self-help. So this is called The Power of Touch, posted by Team Tony. And I'm just going to read this kind of intro. He does an interview here, and I might pick up a couple of the Q&A things, but just to get a general understanding, right, of the power of touch. What is the power of touch? Newborns that are given nurturing touch grow faster and have more improved mental health and motor skill development. Children raised with more physical interaction tended to be less aggressive and violent. Partners who cuddle have been shown to have lower stress levels and blood pressure and improved immune function. Elderly people who receive soothing, affirming experience of touch have been shown to better handle the process of aging and passing with dignity. So isn't that neat that we SciVivers, right? We study longevity, and touch is something that can help you handle aging, maybe even help you live a little longer. That's my interjection. I think it's true though. Pardon me. Swallow fly. Okay. From the moment we are born to the final days of our lives, touch acts as a central aspect of the human experience, impacting our physical, mental, and emotional health, and quite literally shaping the way we go through our lives. And I'm going to read just this. So here's a couple Q&As. The question is, I want to start with talking about interpersonal touch. What is the power of just a simple touch? And here's the person's answer. He says, the most critical function of interpersonal touch is to build trust and cooperation. The ability to strengthen a bond and communicate, I'm on your side. I'm an ally. You can trust me. It derives from maternal touch when we are babies. See that, going back to that, and yeah, of course, I had a mom that held me, but I think there was something about the lack of my birth mother that is, as I'm growing and as I'm learning about who I am and what I need in life, I feel like that was a big disconnect. So anyways, it derives from maternal touch when we are babies, but it persists throughout our lives as a social glue of sorts. And it is what binds sexual partners into lasting couples and brings people and the family together and creates strong teams. Interesting. Let me see what everyone's saying here. Yeah, Thothschild, I very much agree with this. He says, it certainly wasn't by accident that we were a free people in lockdown, separated from each other. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And then, let's see. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I'm going to read this. And I kind of like skimmed through the article. So thanks for sticking with me while I'm trying to figure out what the best things are to read. This says, I'm trying to figure out where to pick this up. This looks really interesting. I'll just start here. It says, there are certain cultural groups in certain places in the world where you never want to touch anybody at all because it's a big no-no, right? There is an interesting anecdote about this that was published in the 1960s by a psychologist who would observe people in a cafe. He would look at romantic couples, friends, and coworkers. Ooh, in San Juan, Puerto Rico, mira, that's my isla. I've been there, or I lived there for a while. I have family there. In San Juan, Puerto Rico, he saw that on average, people would touch other about 200 times an hour. Wow, that's an interesting statistic. In Paris, about 40 times an hour. In New York City, about 5 times an hour. And in London, 0 times an hour. So clearly, these things aren't just biological. They're also very culturally determined. What a trip. I did not know that was in there. And that just like even more instills within me that it's in my DNA. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican and like I get that, right? Like I love touch. It is like sugar to me. I'm addicted to it. It is wonderful. Wow, that is a trip. All right, so let's read a little bit more in this article, and then I'm going to go on to one other article, and then we're going to read a little bit of SciVive. So this is talking about the romantic relationship. Affectionate touch, stroking the arm or holding a hand, is hardwired to produce feelings of trust and cooperation. It's really the same sort of thing that's happening if you get that from your doctor or your coworker, except it's better in a romantic relationship. But I think an important thing to say is that if you don't need sexual contact, I think an important thing to say is that you don't need sexual contact. I mean, sexual contact has all its own benefits, but even without any sexual contact at all, gentle caressing or a back rub or neck rub, that kind of tactile interaction between partners is a wonderful way to build a bond. Yes. Yeah. Can y'all touch yourselves? Let's do it. SJ's touching herself on stream, folks. All right. Okay. So this is, I'm going to move on to a second article. This is it's from justmind.org, and it's called The Importance of Touch in Relationships. Let me see. So, and the person who wrote this, it says they're a couples therapist. So it says, as a couples therapist, a lot of the work I do has to do with building or rebuilding meaningful connections between people. Frequently, one of the signs of disconnection in relationships is the lack of touch. Touch often plays a crucial role in maintaining connection with interpersonal relationships. Touch is essential because of the ways it communicates emotions to others and because it stimulates the production of oxytocin, sometimes known as the love hormone. So that is just, just another reason to just squeeze yourself. Give me that oxytocin. I try to, if you guys have followed me or watched me for a little while, my biggest, aside from what I do with SciVive and Women Crush Wednesday, I love to just promote positivity and promote self-love. And, for me to go through what I'm going through and to not be able to love myself through it and take care of myself and share that journey, I think would be a detriment. So that's why I'm here. Again, that's why I decided, no, I'm not going to just hide myself away and, disconnect, because connection is huge. And Bob Wells says, I love touch too. I love holding hands and putting my arm around my gal. So sweet. Thoughtchild says, thank God for my children. And what a beautiful connection that is. I had experienced, a bit of that through being a stepmom or step parenting. And it was kind of hard sometimes for me. And I think that's because I did not have a lot of touch in my own household growing up. So when I had this, like, when I was around this child, it was difficult for me to feel okay showing affection. And that's something that, I needed to work through and work on, and still am, trying to figure out a lot of that. All right, so I'm going to read a little bit more from this article. Tips. Ooh, here we go. Yes. No, I'm going to read this whole article. It's very short, and it's got a lot of good stuff in it. So, okay, touch in communication. Touch can be a powerful way of communicating emotions non-verbally. It offers a subtle and more nuanced approach in which we interact with others. Whether it is a hug or a pat on the back, touch can communicate positive emotions such as love and gratitude. Contact can also be an essential way of conveying sympathy. For example, when someone is experiencing grief, sometimes an arm around their shoulder provides more comfort than words alone. Very true. Sometimes when you don't know what to say, don't say anything. Just hold them. Put your arm around them. This was something that was a big point of contention, and something that was hard for my previous partner and I to work through, was that there would be times when I would be frustrated or upset or PMSing, whatever it was, and it was so hard for me to, and this, again, changing, developing, growing, right? It was difficult for me at times to voice that really all I needed was to be held. I don't need you to fix my problems. I don't need you to, solve anything for me. Just hold me. And that melts so much away, so much tension. So I get that for sure. Let's see. Touch or hesitation in touch can also signify negative emotions. Imagine a parent and child holding hands when the parent tightly squeezes their child's hand. This situation could alert the child that their caregiver is experiencing fear and signal a warning. Safety and connection are necessary for more intimate forms of touch, such as a long hug. And that's something that, I gotta burp, hold on. That's something that I think is so beautiful, is the long hug, the heart. There's a way that you can hold one another where your hearts connect and you're like chest to chest where your heart is, and hug for like 20, 30 seconds. Feel that. If you've never done that before, y'all, find someone to hug or do it, again, hug yourself. Hold yourself and really squeeze for 20 to 30 seconds and feel that embrace. Yeah, so let's see. Where were we? Safety and connection, such as a long hug. Okay, people can often sense when someone feels uncomfortable or not receptive to that kind of touch. Touch also has the potential to expand the depth of communication when combined with conversation, eye contact, and body language. All right, so this next section is about oxytocin. Oxytocin, also known as the love hormone or the cuddle hormone, is crucial during labor and infancy. Wow. After birth, a flood of oxytocin creates a post-birth high, which helps develop a sense of calm after what is often physically and emotionally exhausting labor. Oxytocin also encourages bonding between mother and infant by promoting feeding and regulates stress for the infant. And again, going back to my personal experience, she didn't feed me, right? Like I didn't have that touch. Although we often associate this hormone's importance with birth and infancy, oxytocin continues to play a vital role in intimate relationships throughout our lives. According to Bonnie Badenoch, a therapist and author whose work focuses on the use of brain science and therapy, oxytocin helps to negotiate the experience of attachment. It creates a feeling of well-being between two people. Oxytocin is both a hormone and a neurotransmitter, which means that it helps the communication within our brains and bodies and facilitates the way our minds and bodies communicate with others. Oxytocin inhibits stress and increases calmness and connection between people. Studies show that increases or decreases in neurotransmitters, such as oxytocin, can have a striking impact on thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and interpersonal relationships. If you have been feeling down because you have been, oh, this is cool. I guess this was written in relation to quarantine. If you've been feeling down because you've been quarantined alone or have been away from someone you care deeply about, it is helpful to know that there are science-based reasons behind this. Lack of oxytocin from physical contact with others can affect our mental and physical health. And this is the last section, and this is why I was like, I'm going to read this whole thing because this is super important. And, you know, there are some people that might still be going through this. Maybe you have family members that are still very fearful and are still masking and quarantining and being, you know, self-isolated. This is something that can help them. So again, check the link in the description. Check out this article, send it to someone you love or care about that you think might be deprived and devoid of touch right now. So this last section, tips for regulating when you cannot touch others. The good news is that many of the benefits gained from touch and oxytocin can be fostered through connection that does not involve touch. Perhaps now more than ever, it is a valuable time to remain in close contact with friends, family, and loved ones, even if it's only virtually. Connecting conversations and expressions of gratitude and appreciation towards others help the production of oxytocin. So that's cool. I would also like to offer a few hacks to help stimulate the regulating efforts of oxytocin. So hack number 1, take a bath. This is interesting. Take a bath while visualizing the embrace from a loved one. The warm water surrounding your body has a similar effect of someone embracing you, and the mental image helps to intensify that. That's really cool. I never thought to do that, but that's really beautiful. I like that image a lot, just being submerged in water. And that's a rare thing, I think. People don't take baths as much anymore, and to submerge yourself and to think of that person holding you. And I would even add to that, you know, again, hold yourself while you're doing that and while you're envisioning that. Number 2, have a video chat with someone you care about while having a weighted blanket on top of you. The weighted blanket also imitates the effects of a warm embrace. I got one of those. Oh, do I have a weighted blanket? And I want to actually look into getting one that's a cooling weighted blanket, if that even exists, because they're very warm and I overheat easy. So I'm trying to find something that's a little more cooling, but can still give me that. Oh gosh, y'all. I held off on getting one of those for a long time. And actually I didn't, my mom gave it to me. She was like, here, she's like, take this. And I was like, okay, didn't know I needed that, but oh Lord, is a weighted blanket beautiful. They're wonderful. So if you're lacking touch, if that's something that's important to you and, you want to feel more embrace, check out getting a weighted blanket. Lastly, and this is very in tune with what I've been talking about and, what I've been doing, give yourself caresses and massages. Whether rubbing your shoulders, rubbing your neck, or massaging your temples has many benefits, such as improving sleep and reducing stress. Just hold yourself. Just caress your face. Like I did this morning. I did a little this one. Like I held this and I held my face. It feels nice. It's very nice. All right, and last, permit yourself to be disappointed about the lack of touch. It's okay to miss it. Hopefully, current scientific research on the pandemic will soon inform us of ways to touch one another again. Say blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Yeah. Junk. Oh, all that junk. All right. So, yeah, that was those 2 articles. And let's get into SciVive, y'all. SciVive. Oh, let me check chat again real quick. Let's check the chat. Do. Yeah, thoughts. Again, going back, thank God for my children, says Thoughts Child. Bob Wells says, I had a girlfriend once that didn't like it because she thought it was an ownership thing. We obviously weren't compatible. That's interesting. I understand that. I can speak to that. I had and this is maybe, part of the reason why I'm on my own right now and, have decided to go through this uncoupling. And because when my previous partner and I met, I had just come out of an abusive relationship. And this abusive partner of mine was controlling, manipulative, and abusive, emotionally and physically. And I tell this story often. I'll never forget this. When I had first started dating the partner that I just split up with, we were, just messing around, hanging out, and like chilling, like lying in a bed together and cuddling. And he went and he like pulled my leg towards him, and he goes, "My leg," and that triggered. I said, "Not your leg, not your leg, not your girlfriend, not your nothing. Like I'm not your anything," because I had been so damaged and so, I don't know, so constrained by this abusive person that I just I didn't want, no, I'm not yours. I'm my own. And that's important too, right? To have your own sovereignty. But it was obviously something that I needed to, and probably am still working through, was, just the, like that, like that possessive. Even though I love touch, I mean, it's kind of different. It's weird because I love touch and I, like I need it. But that in that vein, in the way that he did that, I was just like, no, like, so I get it. I get the possessiveness. I can see where your girlfriend was coming from. And maybe, maybe she went through something like that. Who knows? Maybe she had some kind of abuse or something. And that's why some people do not like touch or cannot handle it, because, they grew up with unhealthy touch, they were, abused or, God forbid, raped or molested in some way. And that makes it very difficult for some people to be open to having touch. So yeah, good point, Bob. Let's see. Hex Metal Barbie says, when I'm out in public, I try to smile and say hi to people. I touch their hand or arm, especially elderly people. You never know if you're the only person who spoke to them that day. Very true. Very true. And Heathen Hex, you're so, as Heathen Hex, you're just making me smile all day. SJ, you're an amazing, awesome, amazing woman. You bring extreme value to the community and the world with your spreading of positivity. Love yourself with impunity. Ooh, that's a great word. I love big words. Stroke your face. Oh, Bob Wells. Thankfully, I have my 200-pound shepherds that cuddled with me every day. Super cute. And Thoughts says, a lot of our modern women are psycho-assertive on that front. Even well-meaning attempts to communicate trust and safety can be reputed as attempts to control. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying is there's definitely women and men. I believe it, that goes both ways, that people have been abused or have had harmful touch. And so it's going to take them, some kind of healing and some kind of self journey to be able to get past that and to move into a place where touch can be a healing, compassionate, nurturing thing. And then Celtex, aka Gamon, says you can actually use help from one another to help your spirit remember your birth throughout your whole body. Thank you for that. I know that is part of something that I am working through and journeying with, is that disconnect, right? That and that's something I've been more aware of and more willing to and interested in working through over the last few years. Yeah, I won't get too much into that at this point, but yeah, that's definitely something that I know that I have within me and within my ancestry too, right? Like, you can kind of awaken, right, that ancestral connection. Not to get too esoteric, but there's the Akashic records. There's, just kind of visualizing and reaching out to your grandparents and great grandparents and calling them into your life and asking them for guidance and asking them, help me heal this, help me get through this, whatever this, maybe it's some kind of generational curse or something that, I'm ready to break that for sure. So melt the icebergs in our hearts, says Thoughts Child. It's our verticality. Yes. All right. So let's get into SciVive. I'm using the PDF that has the whole book in it. So let me see if I can find which chapter this is without going too far back. Helping others. No, I don't want to get lost. So if you happen to want to read along or you're interested in finding this, if you download in t.me/SciVive in the files, there is a PDF. It's scivive.pdf that has the entire book. So that's what I'm reading from. And this is on page 109. And the title is Tactile Communication. I was like, Richard has to have said something about this. So this is from Richard Hart's book, SciVive. And the title of the chapter, this is about a little over a page long. So I'm going to read this whole thing. Tactile communication. Touch is worth about 10 talking points. When someone touches you, you have two options. Physically, do the socially uncomfortable thing and tell them to take their hand off of you, or remove yourself from the hand. If one chooses to forcefully remove the hand, it shows dominance on one's part. Your other option is that you're going to override the discomfort with believing what they say more. Some people take the socially harder, more adrenaline rush producing path in conflict. Some people will take the stance of, I'm okay with this conflict and I feel the discomfort go away the more I agree with what you say. What you end up with is that if you see people who are proficient with the ladies, they end up touching a lot, to the point where they look like creepy molest dudes to normal Scandinavian understanding. If you want to be differently effective with some people, try implementing touch earlier in the right amounts in socially acceptable ways. It changes from daytime to nighttime, changes with levels of attraction and respect, change with the peer group, changes with what bar you're in, and changes with how many drinks everyone's had. However, if you want to talk to a person's soul and really get to know that person, there's nothing more personal than touch. That's where kids come from. That's where you came from. Touch is a big deal. SciVive would be willing to say that there are effects that you can have on another human being through touch that you can't have any other way. If you want to live the fullest and greatest life, you probably need to find the best touch from other people towards you. I'ma cry. Woo! Oh, I'm going to read that one more time. If you want to live the fullest and greatest life, You probably need to find the best touch from other people towards you. Oh, okay. To enjoy the best touch from you to other people, maybe you like to add even more people to the mix. Heyo. Maybe some group hug is awesome for you. You know, I'm going to pause real quick. I had there's a shaman that I talk to every now and then in my life. Her name is White Peacock Woman. I think that's still what she goes by. If you all are on Facebook, or she's on TikTok. Actually, she's on TikTok as TikTok's fairy godmother, I think. Maybe I'll add that to the description later. She's wonderful. But she's someone that I just love and admire. She's just this wild woman just doing her own thing. And I see her often doing cuddle parties and being part of these big hug groups and things like that. And I love that. I would love to be a part of that. And just, because that can be such a healing and wonderful thing for some people to just group hug, y'all. It's great. Okay, so back to SciVive. Let's see, where did that go? Okay, maybe some group hug is awesome for you. Human touch may become a more and more neglected part of the human experience the more and more digital our lives become. When you're more interested in taking selfies and promoting the image of your digital self, in particular to people you will never meet, followers that you will never meet, and if you meet them, you sometimes would wish that you had not. Just because someone follows you or likes your picture doesn't mean that you would like or follow them in the real world. For you see, following wasn't invented in the digital age. In the world, you could actually follow another human being, and that's kind of where the word attraction comes from. Someone's truly attractive by definition when you want to be closer to them. Literally, they attract you like a magnet. You're turned on by something that is going on there. You will spend money, time, effort, compete, and do whatever is necessary to be closer to that person. It's not only people in this world that are attractive. It's not only people in this world that are attractive. They are things to a lot of people, like beaches. There are sharks in the water, but they still like beaches because to a lot of people, beaches are attractive. Find your beach, y'all. Oh, how lovely. That was great, Richard. Thank you so much for your take on touch. How super cool is that? Oh, lovely, y'all. Well, let's see. Pardon me. I rugged myself. I was trying to see how much battery I had left because my phone is what I'm using. Thanks for sticking around through that little rug there. So that's touch. How lovely is that? So I just want to encourage y'all, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you're going through, remember that you have at all times the ability to touch yourself and love yourself and be there for yourself, because that is, a lot of the reason for this stream was a reminder to myself. And it's something that I feel very strongly about. And I think that other people need to hear it. So that's kind of, I don't expect to have a huge following in life too much, or, in this world, because I don't do a lot of crypto talk, or, I love Hex. I'm a Hexican, for sure, through and through, but you're not going to find TA or price charts here. So this is more for like this is like down the rabbit hole Hexican stuff, right? We're here as a community together. We want to build each other up. We want to see each other live long. We want to SciVive together. We want to learn about longevity. And to me, I cannot live without touch. I cannot live or be in existence without that. And I'm learning now at this point that aside from loving myself and being able to do this and comfort myself and hold myself, it is vital to my relationships. And I now know that that's something that I need and desire in a partner. And it is something I'm really looking forward to in terms of this next chapter of my life and where I'm going and who is going to be in my space. So yeah. Let's see. Bob Wells. Yeah, wrong button. Sorry, y'all. I definitely pressed the wrong button. Bob also said, I like this a lot. I'm glad you are doing well, SJ. Looking forward to seeing you blossom into the next stage of your life. Me too, Bob. I have nothing but excitement for what's to come. And I really feel like I'm just glowing. Like there is this inner, and I subscribe to a lot of meditation practices and esoteric things. And, I just imagine this ball of golden light that is just like kind of bubbling up within me. And I'm excited for it to just kind of like out into the world, because that's what I feel like in part I'm here for. I feel like I'm starting to step into my purpose in life. After this many years on the planet, it's really good to be coming into what I feel like the fullness of my expression and who I am. Orion says, I think you, SJ, are essential to this community. And, sometimes I used to like brush off things like that, but I think so too, to be completely honest with you. I think that in part, I am partly what this community needs, especially in a bear market, because people are down, sentiment is down, people are sad, people are frustrated, pulse, win pump, win this, win that, and I want to just be an example and be a light and say that we're here together, we're going to make it through. That's part of what has attracted me to this community so much, is that we're here to hold, right? And we're here to hold one another. It's a really beautiful thing. Let's see, here for full spectrum hexagon content, says Thothschild. Torin Sonic Pulse says, you are incredibly brave and inspiring. Thank you. Johnny, hello. Hi, good to see you. Jerry Oaksmith, nice stream location. Thank you. Look at this. I got a butterfly chair. I love it. This is my landing spot for now. I'm back in Austin and without a van. That's kind of part of the situation, the way things are playing out. And truth be told, I am I'm doing well, and this whole process has been really the most mature and well. Oh gosh, how do I put this? Read my Patreon if y'all are really interested in what's going on with me. I don't want to talk about it too much on stream, but I'm a very open book. I talk about things pretty often, and I'm sure I'll get to the point where I'll talk a little bit more about it, but. Yeah, check me out on Patreon. I'm going to start trying to blog. I would hope, I want to say daily, but I'm going to try just to do it a lot more often. I love writing. That's part of why I wanted to take up editing and reading Fix the World, because I'm an editor and a writer at heart, and I love poetry, song, and blogging. So check out it's patreon.com/awildsj, no spaces or anything, just awildsj. And you can read my latest blog post about what happened and what I'm going through, and what the process has been like so far. So check that out. Heathen Hex says, my life has been made better having followed you. Your readings of positivity are inspirational. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I do get messages from time to time about people who either have trouble reading like text, or one that I keep coming back to and commenting on is this person who said they're dyslexic. So it's really hard for them to read. And just the fact that I've done the audio narration of SciVive, it warms my heart. It makes me feel, again, like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. that this is the community that I belong in, and these are the things that I want to spend my time and energy focusing on. So that's really it. How long? What's going on here? How long have I been doing? Oh, wow, almost an hour. I did not expect this stream to go this long. I will just briefly comment about the little more esoteric, new moon stuff. So of all of the astrological cycles and things, one of the things that I have really connected with and tried to tune into and attempted to create a habit of doing is to set intentions during the new moon phase, which is now. Last night, the new moon went into the sign of Cancer around like 11 p.m. Eastern time. So we're feeling that energy very strongly. And I kind of had this knowing that this was a very important new moon for me, because the way this transition happened, like it kind of happened like, and this is a little bit of the way new moon energy works, right? The moon is emptying, right? Less and less of the light is shown. And then the new moon happens and we're empty, okay? Completely starting at, starting in the darkness, or starting, I don't know what another good way to put that is, but you have this chance to visualize, write down, imagine what you want to fill your life with. And I think that's such a beautiful image, right? That as the moon is empty, and we've emptied our lives maybe of what is not working, what doesn't make us feel, especially for this new moon in Cancer, at home. Cancer, that is one of the biggest themes that you'll see in people who are Cancers or the Cancer energy. It's all about home, right? Cancer is the crab. So the crab carries their home, right? And they often go into in fact, my one of my best friends who I'm here living with in Austin right now is a Cancer. And I joke with him all the time. I'm like, I gotta get in there and poke your soft meat. It sounds terrible, but it's just like it's like getting in that shell and like poking you, like, hey, come on, come out of your shell and let's go do something, because Cancers love to just be here and be at home and be in their little comfy space and take care of their stuff. So it's that energy of what is home to you. And for me personally, I'm a gypsy, right? Like I do not, like I was living in a van. Previous to that, I had a job where I'd move around a lot. I feel comfortable on the road. To me, that exploratory adventuring is almost like home to me. Like if I'm stagnant and if I'm in one place for too long, I can't do it. I can't just be somewhere inside for a long time. It doesn't come natural to me. So what I am cultivating in this new moon, oh, and I didn't bring my journal. I had notes, but that's okay. We'll try and remember. But one of the greatest things I'm cultivating here is to feel at home within myself. And a lot of that's why a lot of this was touch based, because for me to feel at home, I want to feel touched. I want to feel embraced. I want to feel desired and needed and wanted. And what better way to do that than to do it for myself? To desire myself, to hold myself, to want myself. And that's something that has taken me such a long time to really come to terms with, that I have spent too much time seeking that from outer sources. And I now know that, should I enter into, another partnership or, start dating or whatever, it's more important for me to date myself. I do talk about, or I've mentioned in the past, polyamory. And one of my best friends, who's also a Cancer, he just inspired me so much. And I wish I would have taken his advice a little bit sooner. But when he speaks on polyamory, he talks about how he is his own first primary partner. He dates himself first. He hangs out with himself and loves himself and takes care of himself. And I always kind of admired that, but I didn't put that into practice. I didn't ensure that I was the one taking care of me and being excited about being in my own company. And I'm finally there, I'm finally getting there, and I'm finally feeling that energy, and it feels great. So I really want to encourage you, especially during this time, during this new moon energy, write down some intentions, write down some things that you want to see manifest in your life, and try to revolve that and center that around home. What feels home to you? What feels comforting? Where can you go? And can you find that within yourself? Because I think that's huge. Let's see. X-ray vision. Hey, good to see you. Says dating yourself makes it easier to pick a restaurant. 100%. I actually took myself out to Ethiopian food. I think that was a couple days ago. Yeah, I love Ethiopian food. Took myself out, had a lovely Ethiopian platter and some Ethiopian tea. Wonderful. All by myself. It's great. Let's see. The worry is when I only want to eat junk food. Yeah. Yeah. Celtex, one thing that's helped me with that, and let me put in context, I've gone from living very unhealthily many years ago to I stopped working a desk job, quit, and went to go work on a farm, and learned how to grow food. And so junk food for me is like dark chocolate. So I don't eat a lot of junk food anyways, but my advice to you, if you have those cravings and you feel like you need junk, like you're trying to eat junk food, two things. Try to find a healthy alternative, that can still satisfy that craving. Maybe like bananas dipped in dark chocolate, or chocolate covered nuts, or something salty. If you need something salty, I'm not a salt person, so I can't think of a good example. Pickles, I don't know. And secondly, something that has helped me tremendously, because one habit that the family I grew up with, my adoptive family, would often do, and still to this day does, it's a very unhealthy habit, is they eat when they're bored, they eat when they're upset, they eat when they're tired, they just eat. Like that's just a thing that helps come. And that's not, I'm sure many other people do that. So I started fasting. I do intermittent fasting every day. I don't eat until, and I'm trying to get on a schedule right now, but I try to have about a 4 or 5 hour window where I do eat. And then it's like, if it's before then, I'm not eating. If it's after then, I'm not eating because I'm fasting. So when I do get wrapped up in my head or something's going on and I just want to distract myself with a snack, I don't, because I'm fasting. So that is a little tip of advice for that. Bob Wells, once a year I'll eat fast food. I don't even do it anymore. I can't. It's like there's nothing in it to me. Like it's just, it would be like eating cardboard. Like not even the taste, but like the sustenance. There's nothing, ain't nothing in that fast food, y'all. Nothing. Yeah. I guess, the fastest food I'll eat is like maybe like there's a place called P. Terry's out here that's kind of like the equivalent of In-N-Out. Get myself a burger. But even then, I'm actually starting to get to the point where I don't even want that kind of stuff. What time? Crypto Cashew says, hi, what time of day did you pick your 4 hour window? I usually will do something between like, it's been about 1 p.m. So around from 1 p.m. to 5. Yeah. Or noon to 5. Noon to 4. Something like that. Somewhere around then. Because later in the evening is usually when I'm, kind of doing things and working on other stuff, and I might start like getting in my head. That was the thing, is I don't want to eat late at night, and I don't want to just like snack for no reason. So that is my thing. Bob Wells, I eat from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. Yeah, man. Like, I know I'm not the only one who's spoken on fasting and intermittent fasting. I think Sam Stolt does some of that. The fitness guys are into it. It's really been helpful. If nothing else, because I'm not a big exercise person. I'm trying to get better at that, at least with yoga practice, some jump rope, a little bit of weightlifting. I'm trying to work on this still. Trying to tone, right? But I am not a gym gal. I don't like going to the gym. I just saw myself do the arm thing. That's real cute. Anyways, yeah, I don't enjoy working out. So fasting has been really great for helping me maintain my weight. And it also keeps me more aware of what I'm putting in my body and how it's affecting me. Because if I do, even through fasting, that there are times when I am a little more lenient with my diet. I eat a little bit more carbs and things like that. And I see, it's like I can instantly tell that I've started to gain weight. So I want to, it helps me be more mindful, really, just in general. It's great. So let's see. What did I walk into? Maddie Crypto. Good to see you, Maddie. Yeah, I'm about to finish up here. We just talked a lot about touch, about just how important it is to be able to hold yourself and take care of yourself and to love yourself and touch yourself. Put your hands on your face. Massage your temples, massage your shoulders. I do this a lot. I do a lot of this kind of like rubbing. Yeah. And just also setting new moon intentions, and fasting. So yeah, y'all, that is pretty much it. The last thing I will say, and I'm trying to remember the 3 words. Again, I had some notes, but there were 3 P words that are important for this new moon, and it was something like positivity, power, and productiveness, or like being productive. So one of the affirmations that I wrote down for myself was, I am stepping into my own power. I am being positively productive. I don't remember the other ones. But yeah, just keep that in mind as we move through these next couple days. They say that between now, so like yesterday up until the first like quarter moon, that's the time that you want to write down these intentions, set these intentions. And a little trick that I learned from a self-help book a while back, I can't think of which one, but they talked about the power of actually writing things down and using blue ink. There's something that connects mentally, visually, when you're using a blue colored pen to write down your affirmations and write down your goals. So I will leave you with that last little tidbit. I am so grateful for this community. I cannot thank you enough. I want to give a super large shout out to It's Now Now and Jen Hex. Craig, y'all seriously helped me when I was probably at one of my lowest points. And you and the, several people who contributed to helping me in an unexpected time of trouble. I think the world of you. I am so grateful. And, I said this in text, but I cannot wait to pay it forward. That's part of why I'm so excited to be a part of this community, because I know that we have wealth on the way. And if at that point, the people who helped me out, they may not need financial wealth, but what a wonderful gift if I can give the wealth of my positivity and the wealth of my knowledge. And I want to lastly stress to anyone watching this who's interested in streaming, in being a content creator, you have a wealth of knowledge. You have a wealth of something within you to share. And I want to encourage you to do that. So if you ever want to talk, if you want to learn about how to use StreamYard, how to set things up, please feel free to reach out. I'm not the most knowledgeable in that vein, but obviously I'm doing something, and I'm getting it done. And there are other people that I can connect you with too, if that's something that you're looking into doing. So Uh, Thank you all so much for joining me on this Wellness Wednesday. I'm really glad that I ended up doing this, and it was just really nice to hear from you guys and hang out and have a moment. So enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful night and many blessings to my Hexagon family. Love you guys.